financial problems, elder law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by Thav Gross. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. The topic today is struggling with the day-to-day, and now, beyond that, I've become disabled. Jenny Wingle,
Hi,
pleasure
Ken.
to see you this morning.
Good to be here.
Jeffrey Kirshner,
Nice to see you. Nice to help out with the struggles.
disability's going to come into play here, so we need your A game. Did you bring it?
I'm warmed up and ready to play.
A-plus game, Brian Small. We got some debt issues for you.
Every damn time.
Okay, all right. Let me give you the facts. Here's our situation. Our imaginary client happens to be named Jeff. No relation.
I'm not going to be offended by that.
He's a residential real estate agent. His business is feast or famine. Agents out there watching this are going to understand that. When the market is good, business is good, you're selling homes, you're making money. When the market dips, things slow down and you can have difficulty. Jeff's married with 3 children. Jeff has a common problem.
Wasn't that a TV show?
No, that's Married with Children.
Married with children. Jeff has a common problem. He's self-employed, which means he doesn't get a W-2 pay. He doesn't get a paycheck where withholding comes out every time. He has to pay his estimates in each quarter based upon his income. A lot of self-employed people have this problem. Instead of paying your estimates in your taxes based upon your current income, you fall into the bad habit of paying your taxes from your future income. So in 2017, instead of paying in your taxes currently, you're paying in taxes to cover your 2016 income. The problem with that is that the economy goes up and it goes down. And when it goes down, all of a sudden you're in a year where you made income in the previous year that was good, your current year's income is poor, so you don't have the excess income to pay the taxes from the prior year, and you fall behind. The recession was the classic example of that because it was exaggerated tenfold. People had good income right through 2008, and they had no income in 2009 and 10 and 11, so all of a sudden they fell way behind in their taxes. But Jenny, you see this all the time with self-employed
Absolutely.
individuals. It's not just real estate agents, insurance agents, lawyers, accountants. Self-employed people can have a very difficult discipline issue that they have to adhere to. If they don't, they can run into tax problems. And this is what's happened with Jeff. Here's his situation. He owes taxes from 2012 of $30,000, 2013, $25,000, 2015, $15,000. This year, he's been making money, but he's paid in nothing on his current year's income, and it's already, well into August. He has assets. He has a house. It's worth $200,000. The mortgage is $170,000. It was underwater before the recession. Now he's got $30,000 of equity. He has an IRA of $50,000. He's got $5,000 of cash in the bank. He's got some liabilities, $80,000 in credit card debt. That's a big one. And he owes these taxes that we just talked about, $70,000. He's making $10,000 a month right now because the real estate market is good. We need to figure out, what should Jeff do? Brian, your thoughts? Jenny, your thoughts?
Well, we start off by looking at what's the simplest solution we can find to solve Jeff's problem.
He's got $80,000 in credit card debt, $70,000 in taxes.
So the first thing I'm going to do when I'm looking at Jeff's situation is I'm going to examine whether or not he qualifies for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Now, as we pointed out, Jeff has a family of 5 total. So it's possible when we look, even though Jeff is making what's considered a good living, $120,000 a year, after we apply all of the legal standards that are applicable, that Jeff may qualify for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And of course, if he qualifies for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, that's the simplest, most cost-effective, fastest way to get out of debt.
All right. Well, that would clearly that takes care of the credit
And that's
card
gonna
debt,
take
right?
It's going to take care of the credit card debt.
What about the taxes?
It's going to take care of some
Wait a
of the
second.
taxes.
I heard Jerry the bartender talking the other day. I was just sitting there having a cocktail, minding my own business, but he was talking to a couple other people, and he said, you can't discharge taxes in bankruptcy.
And that is a
And
misnomer.
my ear kind of perked up there when he said that. Is that
here's-
true or false?
It's false, and it's true.
Well, which is it?
Well, that's good because Jerry is always right.
No, if a tax, an income tax, is less than 3 years old, it's not dischargeable yet. For a tax to be dischargeable, it has to be at least 3 years old. Your tax returns had to have been filed for at least 2 years, and you couldn't have been assessed in the previous 8 months before you filed bankruptcy.
All right, so in this case, Jeff's taxes from 2012 would have come due
12.
in April of 13.
And 13 would have come due April of 14. The only caveat here on 13 is, did he file an extension? If he filed an extension, then taxes that were due for the year ending 2013 would become dischargeable October of this year, October of 17.
All right, so but 15 is not going to be dischargeable.
15 isn't dischargeable,
And
17 and
And
16.
16, it so happens he paid in. He had a good year.
So Jeff could possibly file a Chapter 7, and if he can't, we're going to look at whether or not Jeff could qualify for a Chapter 13.
All right, so if you get him into that 7, it works. Basically, it gets rid of 12 and 13's taxes. We'll still have to deal with 15's taxes, and he's going to have a problem in 17. We know
And
that's
Jeff
coming,
gets to
Jenny.
keep his IRA and his $5,000 in cash and his house if he
right.
files a Chapter 7.
But if he's making 120, you think that's a tough call?
It is a tough call.
Because he's in real estate, though, you could maybe plan his income a little bit to keep him down. Is that possible?
Opportunity.
We'll take a break, and we're going to explore that a little bit further, and Jenny will figure out the tax problem.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Thav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Thav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Samasco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid and nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Thav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Worth Ave Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP.
All right, so Jeff has a difficult situation, but when we came to the break, you're saying, can he file that Chapter 7 or
In all
not?
likelihood, he really will be able to file the Chapter 7. His alternative in bankruptcy might be a Chapter 13, but I really think we can put Jeff into a Chapter 7, eliminate those debts which are dischargeable.
Well, in fact, let me even massage it. When I said he's making $10,000 a month, he's self-employed. I was kind of thinking gross.
Well, then
if
in
he's
that
got
case,
expenses,
sure,
that
those
reduces
business
his
expenses
income.
reduce his income, and those are allowable expenses under the statute. And for a family of 5, now he's most likely going to pass the means test and qualify for that Chapter 7.
And another thing that I've seen you do before, when you have self-employed individuals, you sometimes can plan slowdowns in their income.
Well, you don't
Like, you're
plan
gonna
the
close-
slowdown.
Well, you're
There
going to close
is a
more.
slowdown
You're
in
going to
real
close
estate.
more houses in real estate in the summer
Right.
than you are in the winter.
That's the reality. Jeff makes $10,000 a month on average, but he probably makes most of it between April and
Absolutely.
August. So we file in February.
After, because it's based on your last 6 months of income, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, if we can get him into a 7, Jenny, what are you going to do about his $15,000 liability
Plus
his
2017?
2017?
Okay. So what we would do with the $15,000 plus say he owes another $15,000, might be around $30,000, is if there is, first what we can do is a 72-month payment plan via direct debit. If there's a tax lien on the property and he does not want the tax lien there, he wants the tax lien removed, we might use some of his funds to pay the tax liability down to $25,000 and then do a streamlined agreement and request that lien be withdrawn.
All right. Let me change the facts. He doesn't qualify for the Chapter 7. Just his income's too high.
Or he has too
Now
much
he's
equity
got-
in the home or something.
He doesn't. So he's got $70,000 of credit card debt, or $80,000 of credit card debt, and he's got the tax liability. What do we do then?
Well, the first thing I would analyze is whether or not he would qualify for an offer in compromise. So the equity in the home is not a problem because they look at the quick sale value, which is 80%, which would be $160,000. His mortgage is $170,000. So purposes of the offer, there's no equity in the home. However, he does have the IRA in cash. The IRS only exempts out the first $1,000 that you have in your savings. In the IRA, they're going to look to the full IRA
So he'd
minus
lose
what
his
you have
IRA?
to pay in taxes. If we were to look at an offer in compromise,
Could he cash in
in
the
this-
IRA and use it for family expenses first, or
we might
or
be
improve
able
the
to,
house?
but what we
Paint the
have,
house?
we might be able to do some of that. What we've done in the past is if they need a new roof, we might take some of the money out of the IRA to repair the roof or to put a new roof on. That
Alright,
does not increase the fair market
so
value
you
of the
can look
home.
at the offer in compromise. You can maybe put him into a Chapter 13.
Maybe it's
Take
a
care of the credit
possibility.
card debt.
Take care of.
He's got to
Actually,
pay the taxes first, right?
actually, the only thing that would get paid in the Chapter 13
Taxes.
would be the non-dischargeable income taxes, and everybody else would get zero.
So that could be a good solution.
It
for
would,
him.
because I could spread that tax liability repayment over 5 years. Jenny has the ability to spread it over 72 months.
Or
I don't
longer.
Or even longer. I only get 60 months in Chapter 13. But calamity is about to strike Jeff, and we have a bigger problem.
Wait a second. I'm the guy who introduces the calamity.
I understand.
You're not. What are you talking about?
Jeff just became disabled.
No, he didn't.
He did.
Stop. Okay, we've solved the problem for Jeff as of now. Now we're moving on to the next segment. And as the moderator, I have to tell you news that none of you are aware of. There's a major change, and that change is Jeff was just severely injured in a car accident. He's disabled, and he's not expected to return to work for at least 2 years, maybe longer. Maybe that's what you had in mind. I don't know.
It could be. I don't know.
Just a hunch.
Okay. All right, so, but big change in facts. So now his $10,000 a month income has disappeared. He still has the tax debt. He still has the credit card debt. But he's got this disability problem. And so, Jeff, what does he do about that? This is such a horrible event, and it happens to people. You're handling your life. You're dealing with the day-to-day. You've got issues. He's got too much credit card debt. He's got tax problems. But he had $10,000 of income coming in. He's got a family of 5. Now he's got zero income
So
coming
he
in.
literally hits the brick wall
Yeah.
both figuratively and literally.
What can he
We
do?
don't plan on that, and that's the difficulty, and that's really the real tragedy of disability cases. Is people have this income, they're living, and this gentleman's living
But what
on
does
the
he
edge.
do?
So he's got to file for a disability. So he's got to wait a few months. Now there's a fallacy that people say you don't file for a claim for Social Security until you're disabled for at least a year or longer. I would not do that.
We
need
know
to wait
he's not going back
We
to
need to
work.
wait at least a couple months, but after a couple months, when it looks obvious that he's not going to go back for a year or longer, we need to start that application process.
How long is the process going to take for him?
Well, there's a couple of steps.
Because he needs money.
Right. So the first step is you file your initial application. That takes roughly 2 to 4 months for Social Security to analyze everything. Most likely you're going to get denied. That's what happens with most people unless they have a very serious injury, if they are quadriplegic, life-threatening illness. Most people don't qualify
so
right
he
away.
gets denied, then
So
what?
you get denied. Then we have a 60-day window in which we can file what's called a request for hearing or a disability appeal. When you ask for that hearing with an administrative law judge, it's still going to take ballpark 14 to 16 months to actually get a hearing with an administrative law judge.
Question: during this intermediate period, will they advance you money on your future disability?
There's no such animal as that. There's
so,
no such.
so he's not going to get any money while this is pending, but once it's approved, assuming he's disabled, how much money will he see?
Well, you can see anywhere from average of $1,200 up to $2,700. The average is ballpark
So
about
if he's making-
$1,500.
He's been making $100,000 a year.
It'll be closer to $2,000, $2,100 a month.
So
But he's
in 18 months or so, he'll get a big check.
right. But until that time,
He's got nothing.
he's got nothing. And it's interesting is that like a lot of personal injury lawsuits, there are companies out there that may loan you money ahead of time, thinking that you've got a good case and you pay them back. Happens all the time, which is terrible, but it happens. Those companies don't touch Social Security at all.
All right, so that's not in the cards for him. He's got 18 months to go before he even sees any money. He's not going to be making his $10,000 a month. He's got $70,000 in credit card debt, $80,000 in credit card debt, $70,000 in taxes. We come back to the break, fix his problem.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Fav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Fav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you're approaching retirement and don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your investments, and your savings. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Putting a solid strategy in place with Samasco Law legally protects your assets as well as your wishes. Since a will doesn't cover you medically or financially, Samasco Law goes beyond ordinary asset management protection to safeguard everything you have.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call Fav Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call Fav Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
Fav Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Worth Ave Gross, our firm will solve your problem.
It's time for announcements. Want to remind our viewers to listen to us Tuesdays 11:30 and 7:30 a.m. for Law and Reality Live on Praise 102.7 FM. Then on Thursdays from 3 to 4 p.m. for Law and Reality Now with Cliff Russell on 9:10 a.m. Also, sign up for our monthly contest on our websites. Free $50 Visa gift card, Law and Reality hat, and copy of Dump Your Debt each month to the winner. We've got 2 seminars coming up. On Wednesday, September 13th, 6 to 7:30 p.m., it's time for the debt to fall. I'm going to talk about all the methods we use of preserving future income for you and your family so that you have savings when it comes time to retire. Attendees get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. You want to sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or call 888-235-HELP. Then on Wednesday, September 27th, 6 to 7:30 p.m., we have a seminar, Planning for You, Mom and Dad, Before the Problems Come. This is an estate planning seminar as well as Medicaid planning seminar. We're going to talk about the problems that people encounter, the mistakes they make when it comes to estate planning, and more particularly, if your mom and dad are in their late 70s, 80s, and 90s, the prospect of nursing home care becomes a real issue, and you need to properly Medicaid plan. Pat Simasko, our elder law expert and expert on Medicaid planning and aid and attendance benefits, will be there along with Brian and myself to cover estate planning and debt planning issues for the elderly. Sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or call 888-235-HELP. Also remember, you can always sign up at Thav Gross or Law and Reality for a free consultation. Whether it's debt issues, tax issues, estate planning, business issues, elder law issues with Pat, disability or workers' compensation issues with Jeff, just go to the websites, sign up, and you can enroll, or you can always call 888-235-HELP. Also, take a look at the websites. We have 3 free reports on the websites. They're informative, available for you for free. Just go to the websites and download them and take advantage of them. Now back to the show.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're Thav Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call Thav Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call Thav Gross today, 888-235-HELP.
All right, so Jeff has a difficult problem now. He has no income coming in, severe car accident, he's disabled, he's not going to be working for at least a year, maybe never. It's going to take 18 months before he sees that disability check coming in. Once it does come in, he's going to be looking at $2,000 a month. I say his wife's got to get a job because he needs food on the table. What does the guy do? All he has is a $50,000 IRA, $30,000 of equity in his home. He's still got the credit card debt. He still has the tax debt. Does he cash in the first question? Does he cash in the IRA and pay off his credit cards?
No, absolutely not. He's gonna start cashing in the IRA.
You're laughing at that, but I'm telling you, Jeff comes in here and he's so worried about his credit score. He's asking me, should I pay off the credit cards with the $50,000? And we're sitting there going, Jeff, you need to put food on the table for your family.
That $50,000 is going to get used probably over the next 18 months. I mean, he's got a family of 5. There's no other sources of income into the household at the moment. So
on that one, I say this.
He's going to use it to
Don't
eat.
cash it in 2017 because he already has $50,000, $60,000 of income this year. Wait until January of 2018 to cash it because he's not going to have any income.
It's necessary to keep groceries on the
gotta
table
live.
and the electric bill paid.
But he's got to make
He
certain.
may take part of it in 2017 and the remainder in 2018.
Can he continue using the credit cards if he's got any available credit and take cash advances right now, Brian?
Well, of course, since he's insolvent
He
at
needs
this
the money.
moment, we're not going to recommend that. But on the other hand, that's what people do. That is reality. Reality is people will go to any source
He needs
to
money
put
for
food on
food.
their table.
But he's got to act before he gets that lump sum, he's got to talk with.
What you're about, he's got to take care of his debt issues before he gets.
He's got to do any type of
money.
filing before that money comes
But we
in.
got 36.
You're talking about the
We have
disability
to survive 18
award.
months.
Right.
Okay, so you're saying, we're all saying, he's going to end up cashing in the IRA.
Right.
All right, what is he going to do about the taxes and the credit card debt?
Well, opportunity is how long can we wait to file this bankruptcy? Because a bankruptcy, if I can get him to...
You're trying to get rid of the 2015
I'm trying to get rid of
taxes?
2015. 2015 came due April 15th, 2016.
So he's got to go
April
to 19.
15th, 2019, it's dischargeable. We're close right now. We're in the middle of 2000.
But he needs to file before Jeff gets the Social Security disability.
Well, it might end up being that the Social Security disability award is going to come down before we can discharge those taxes, but waiting it out, I can always file as long as the money hasn't been received by Jeff, I can file the bankruptcy.
All right, Jeff's worried about the credit card companies calling him.
Tell him to call me. I'll take those phone calls.
Bottom line is, the fact that the credit card companies are calling doesn't mean anything. Jeff doesn't have any income that they can get. There's nothing for them to attach. Even if they sue him, they can't get to anything. Jenny, what about the IRA? Is the government going to try and take the IRA before he spends it?
It's possible, however, they have to jump through a few more hoops to levy an IRA. So it's likely in this case that I could get him put into an uncollectible status to buy us the time we need and then discharge it all in bankruptcy in 2019.
So let me see if this is Jeff's scenario, because it's a difficult situation. He doesn't have to, his problem right now that he's disabled, isn't the taxes or the credit card debt. His biggest problem is he needs income. He's going to have to look to the IRA to help get it by. His wife's going to need to get a job. They're going to need to do what they have to get food on the table. Otherwise, they're going to look at losing their home, and they're not going to have income to live on.
And at the same time, Mr. Kirshner here is going to have to expeditiously go forward on the Social Security disability request, which requires you, Jeff, who's hurt, to get into his office as soon as possible.
You're making a big point there. Jeff, in that situation, the last thing he needs to do is waste 6-7 months or a year trying to figure out what to do, making the mistake of taking the IRA and paying off the credit cards. He needs to get good advice right away because he has a life-changing event. Difficult situation for Jeff. Think about it. We had Jeff earlier in the show just dealing with the taxes and the credit card debt. Look at how much more difficult his life has become because of the disability. There's a lesson there. If you're stressed out because of debt, you're stressed out because of your taxes, it's a problem. You need to address it, but things can be a lot worse. Jeff's situation with the disability is a lot worse. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality. Thanks for tuning in.